Today, the United States planned to claim a whole planet through the most extraordinary expedition of our time, a flight through space by rocket ship.
I hereby claim Mars in the name of the United States of America.
Baddest adventure that ever happened
with our control teams. And I really...
Boo! Boo! Boo!
We approached this very spectacular site
with our control teams. And I really...
above it, so that you had the horizon, the lunar module, rarely be seen again, and I remember that most vividly.
I think for me, the most memorable time may not have been one that the happening I was most aware of.
With our control teams. And I really...
created by combinations of volcanism and meteorite impact. Rather than answering many questions, I think it raised many more questions, but certainly our level of understanding was immeasurably increased.
With our control teams. And I really...
is a lot more important than excellence in a particular field. Excellence in whatever field they feel suits them best.
A lot of patience and the ability to cope with things not turning out exactly the way they may perceive that they would ahead of time.
Russia, and has spent almost 6 months in 2004 space shuttle, where he did 3 spacewalks. And then he had this 6-month stay on the International Space Station. Has a lot of other interests. He is a backpacker, a scuba diver, a mountain climber, and
every day that I could, actually, down in the museum, so it's a real privilege to be here. Thanks for letting me come out. One thing that Valerie didn't mention, I came back from the space station just 2 months ago. So this is what a person looks like 2 months after floating around for 5 months in my Earth space. Legs back now. I don't think I'm going to throw up on anybody. I'm not going to pass out. And it looks like that. It's a lot bigger. With the solar arrays, it is the size of a football field. It is huge. It is flying around the Earth in orbit about 250 miles up right now. It's been doing that since December of the year 2000. One thing a lot of people don't know is about the size of a 5-bedroom house. So it's actually, for a spaceship, it's the roomiest thing that's ever been built before. One thing a lot of people don't know is to fly in space, you have to be traveling really fast. Otherwise, the gravity of the Earth takes over and will pull you down, and you'll fall into the atmosphere and burn up.
Because you're going so fast. You have to go 17,500 miles an hour to stay in orbit at that altitude. So that's fine.
So with that introduction, why don't we go ahead and start the video. There's always 6 people on board the space station, and we switch out 3 at a time. We had 3 new crew members come up while we were up there. So there's usually 6 people, sometimes just 3. And you have to learn how to speak Russian, fly jets, to fly a spacecraft, to do spacewalks. This is one of the biggest swimming pools in the world. This is where we do our spacewalk. Of the space station is submerged underwater, about the size of a 5-bedroom house, the size of a football field. It is huge. And we get to know every inch of that thing so that we can get outside if we have to and do an emergency spacewalk and fix something. Before launch, we're in quarantine. They keep us away from everybody. And on the day of launch, you wake up, come out, and a Russian Orthodox priest slaps you in the face. And it looks like that. It's a lot bigger. And it looks like that. Number of the year 2000. And then we're going to lie there in the rocket for a few hours.
Gosh. Shazam! 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 Olé! Olé!
Waiting for the launch. We're at the end of almost 3 years of training now. From a dead stop in the middle of Kazakhstan. Event coming up. Thank you all very much. Enjoyed answering your questions. Appreciate it.
I can see there ain't no law of gravity there. And it's on the floor. She says, how about Niagara Falls?
Welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Those films bring back some great memories.
And Neil, that was some speech you made when you first stepped on the moon. When did you prepare that?
Actually, I didn't think about that until after we landed on the moon's surface.
Really? You thought that up all by yourself, huh?
Well, it was a little late to call a writers' meeting when you're coming down that ladder.
A pair of bunny eyes. Do-do-do-do-do. Boy, is this a neat way to travel. Isn't it great? Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum.
Maybe that's why I never went there. Boy, you're not afraid to face danger, are you?
I'm here.
I can see there ain't no law of gravity there.
Is it unpatriotic to kick an astronaut in the shins?
What did it feel like to be the first man to step on the moon?
Well, we were very worried about our first steps on the moon because some experts had predicted just shortly before launch that we wouldn't be able to hold our weight at all, and we'd just disappear into the dust. And of course, we were really pleased to find out that they were wrong.
Wait a minute. Is that two girls or one girl with two heads? What is it, darling?
We'd like to know when you're going to take the first woman to the moon.
We welcome you with open arms.
Hang on. Yeah. All right. Good show. I told them you were. Whoop. Okay. We see that one went all the way in. Not quite. But there it is, all but about 5 inches. Okay. Boy, do I like to run up here. I feel like Bugs Bunny. You have to eat. I like to skip along. Not me, boy. Skip. Or whatever you call it. I can't get my left leg in front of me. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum-dum-dum-dum. I'll give you a demonstration here, Joe. Roger. Right on. Here, Joe. Spectacular demonstration. Oh, well. Enough of that. Lovely. What was that a demonstration of, by the way? It started out to be of gravity, and it wound up being of centrifugal force, I think. Nice soft Navy landing. Man, Tony, you don't know how much fun this has been. We concur, John.
Ollie, Ollie, golly, Ollie, golly, oh, Ollie.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did. But they just study hard and be the best at whatever you want to do. The program will find you. And do you have any advice for youngsters who may want to take over your job someday? Bob, NASA's first 25 years were spectacular. And if they can continue to get young people, I'm certain the next 25 can be even better.
Well, you certainly gave him a great start. Thank you. Neil Armstrong, ladies and gentlemen.